Hi, my name's Paul Morgan. I'm from Net Audio in Wichita Falls, Texas. We're a small stereo shop. I've had Net Audio for around 15 years, but we've been in the same business location currently for 10 years. It is me and 3 other full-time employees, so 4 people total. I wouldn't say I have a set business philosophy, but I have a whole slew of rules. And so I started a list years ago, and finally I had enough that I put them up in the bay. But the main one that I would say is a main business philosophy or practice around here is from Vince Lombardi. And I know I'm going to butcher it, but it's pretty much, I know we cannot capture perfection, but hopefully in the chase of perfection, we can catch excellence. And I've always understood that I know anything that's human, man-made, it's practically impossible to get perfect. And the more handmade items and the more vehicles and stuff that we work on or that I see and look at and respect other people's work, you can find flaws. You can find flaws in a brand new vehicle. So I know it's unrealistic for me or to make my employees have the same eye as me to achieve perfection, but just at least making it excellent and making sure that customers also see that excellence. With the way that we stand behind our installations and our products and everything, it's a big deal for us to be able to say, that this is our goal and this is what we're trying to achieve. Over the past few years, I would say our biggest challenge with our business, we have 2 busy aspects of it. We are a traditional car stereo shop. We do installations and sales and fabrication and all that sort of fun stuff. But we also have a very, very active website, netaudio.com. It started off primarily for subwoofer enclosures that are vehicle specific, and then it grew, and now we have a whole assortment of different parts and harnesses and stuff that we have made for us. But then we also manufacture a lot of stuff in-house also. With COVID, of course, everybody had extra money, everybody had extra time, and so we had a huge surge of growth. And it was a challenge for us to manage all that and to be able to handle all the orders and all the extra sales traffic and stuff in the store, online, over the phone. With that, now we also had to deal with management of materials and supplies and inventory and all the different shortages and stuff we had. So learning how to plan all of that stuff better was a big challenge. Just like a lot of other shops, I came from the Bay and worked my way up. And so going from technician to manager, owner has been our biggest hurdle, the biggest challenge over the past few years. As far as what makes our business unique, I think I already kind of touched on that because we're not just a in-store brick and mortar retailer. Our online side keeps us very, very busy. I originally intended for the subwoofer enclosures to fill downtime. I worked at a big box store for 9 years, and while I was there, I knew the cycles. I knew the business cycles. Oh, it's the fall, it's going to slow down until Black Friday. I knew what to expect. Honestly, it backfired on us, but in a good way. The online side with enclosures, we've been building and shipping those for about 13 years, and we've never, ever, ever been caught up. Our main business focus is Dodge Rams. That's what we grew very quickly in popularity on. With our whole business, if you take our business as 100%, about 50%, 60% of that is online. Of that, say 60%, about 75% of that is Dodge related, with enclosures, harnesses, integration kits, and full bundles. That stuff, it's made us, very much a specialty, but it's also made us the definitive authority online when it comes to Dodge pickups and vehicles, which that helps us be a little more unique because we have customers bring vehicles to us from all across the country. We have people come from Memphis, Tennessee, Clarksville, Tennessee, all over South Texas, East, West Texas, Oklahoma, Wichita, Kansas, you name it. But on the online side, we have continuously shipped stuff to Alaska, more than once in Hawaii, Mexico, all over Canada on a regular basis. But we also have customers in Europe. We have customers in Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Norway. We're very well known when it comes to our Dodge products. Honestly, that's great, and that's what keeps us very busy, but again, it's a very different aspect of our business. If we're talking business numbers, I'm going to cheat and look at my sheet. So in 2020, on average, we did about $435,000 total for the year. Going to 2021, that jumped to $535,000, so a 25% increase because of COVID and all that stuff. 2022 was about the same, so 5% increase, went to 585. But this year so far, we're already, this is September, we're already at 450. I'm expecting to be closer to about 650. So again, about another 25% growth. Part of that is, yes, we've had higher sales, but we also have higher revenue because COVID. We had shortages and we were backlogged. We were backlogged on orders online 16, 18 weeks. Local sales and installation, we were backlogged up to 2 months. And within that, we made a big shift where we were getting more big projects. Instead of doing 5-6 cars a day, we were doing 1 car over 5 days. So that gave us bigger tickets, bigger revenues. But at the same time, we were trying to slow down the traffic. So we went up on our labor rates. We went up on prices online. So we have higher revenue. But we also had to do that because of cost of materials. Our fiberglass for doing our Dodge enclosures, the cost of all the materials from prep to the resin and the fiberglass mat went up between 50% to 150%. Depending on what that material was. So, we had to go up on cost in order to account for all of that stuff. And that's, again, attributed back to a big challenge of learning how to, focus on the numbers, pay attention to what our costs are on individual products and what we can do with that. We've also shifted some of our manufacturing. We've started sourcing stuff from overseas. And so we have parts being made for us. So taking something that we're getting from a different manufacturer but putting our own spin on it, but this way we're of course lowering costs, but also having a product that's more suited to what we want to do, and we have a whole selection of different products that we use like that. Quick little tour of our shop. So very small shop, we're in the middle of a residential area. So you go through our front door and you're immediately into our sales floor. If you come in asking questions about radios, or video, if you want to check out different models of subwoofers, then we have a big selection of that. We have our displays on the different models of alarms and remote starts, all of that stuff right here. Our main sound room is in here, and in here we have a factory Chevy radio that is running to a DSP, and then that DSP runs to 2 amps in the back. So the way that this is set up is it's 250 watts, you pick 2, it's 500 watts. And the same with the subs. So we can do 110, 210 sealed, 112, 212 sealed. So you can hear what the difference of adding a second sub to it. But what's really important is, let you listen to 110 sealed versus 110 ported. And now you can hear exactly what the enclosure is doing. And this is a really great way for us to be able to show customers what the difference is, what that's going to do to their music, and then they can pick what style they like. We have our touch and feel area. I know customers like to poke and feel and they like to see the magnets, so we try to keep a small selection of our woofers. Like I spoke earlier, we have a lot of people who come from out of town, and I know a lot of shops are opposed to having waiting room, but we have people regularly here from over an hour away, so they're gonna sit and wait. So in here we have our waiting room. We're in the process of redoing this room, so we have a coffee bar, we have a mini fridge outside with water for the customers. Restroom in here, TV is hooked up on a Fire Stick. So we try to give them a very homey experience where they can relax. Then we come over to our sales desk where we can finish up the transaction and get customers' tickets and quotes made up. We have a way for us to mirror QuickBooks off of our computer onto our TV monitor. And so that way they can see us when we're making up the tickets. So that way they see pre-populated stuff inside QuickBooks instead of us having to look at a price sheet and say, I think it costs this much. So once we're done with the job, we take their keys, take their work order, put it on a clipboard, and then it's ready to go back to the bay for installation. I think because of all those reasons, with us being so multifaceted, not just locally, but also online, I think that we deserve to be within the top 50.